So breaking news for Tesla, super bullish, and I want to go ahead and just break it down for you guys. So just recently, we had Elon Musk make a tweet for March 1st for Investor Day talking about what is going to happen. He kind of foreshadowed what was going to be presented for March 1st on Investor Day. Now, for those of you guys that are not familiar with this serves as a catalyst event. I mean, we've had several of these for Tesla. We've had Battery Day, AI Day, the Cyber Roundup. I mean, the list goes on. This serves as a catalyst event where we see price action has a surge in the movement, right? And so I want to go ahead and before we talk about Investor Day, just highlight some of the things that recently happened with Tesla. So on, just a couple of days ago, we had the recalls for Tesla. Over 300,000 vehicles for Tesla were recalled. And then on top of that, the same day, we had bad macroeconomic data come out. And then we also had the Feds kind of have some hawkish statements talking about interest rates and inflation being sticky. So we saw Tesla and the overall market just recently fall down. However, the very next day, Tesla stock rose up. So that implies that there's very optimistic demand for Tesla as we move forward from January or February closer to March 1st Investor Day. Now, I want to share with you guys this interview that me, Kevin, had with an analyst from ARK Invest because it's honestly pretty exciting.
First, I think Tesla's going to announce a vehicle that'll, they'll claim they're going to be able to produce for half the cost.
You think they're going to announce a car?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've definitely indicated that they're likely to.
Wow.
So I think it'll be a new model that will be very economical and tuned to be a robo-taxi, probably, and that it'll just like set the entire industry offsides on a cost basis again, as in now kind of like the industry is trying to like design how are we going to scale, and there are just I just think they're designing for a cost of manufacture that is going to not have them able to profitably compete with where Tesla's at.
But Charlie Munger says BYD is better.
I mean, I think that for one thing, the Chinese market is like a very different beast than the U.S. market, and
So
I do think
average vehicle's what, $13,000-$14,000 there. Our average used a new car price $47,000 somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't know about the Chinese average,
Sure.
but there is like a whole class of vehicles that's more like a neighborhood electric vehicle. So it depends on how many of those you bundle into how you do the averaging.
Okay.
But in net, I think within China, it's more likely that Tesla sits at a premium tier and is not competitive with real mass volume manufacturers hitting the Chinese market.
Now, without going too far into the data and just doing a quick, simple Google search, you'll see that the average car price in China is significantly lower. So a Tesla model right now is still at a premium in China. However, if a new model is designed and manufactured at a even cheaper cost, well, guess what? This brings in more competition for the other electric vehicles in China, which could definitely serve very well for Tesla.
It's very clear to us that almost all of the auto market is going to become electric drivetrain based. We think within 5 years, it'll be 90+% of the auto market.
Now, real quick, I just want to pause it right here simply because me personally, I'm honestly not sure where he's seeing the data suggesting that, in the next 5 years, 90% of vehicles are going to be electric vehicles. The data that I see suggests more like 50%, which, by the way, is still a good positive uptrend. That's good data. But I just wanted to mention that I'm not sure where he's getting his models from.
I suspect the product they'll release will be this is an inexpensive vehicle platform to manufacture that's optimized for adaptation to robotaxi, but also we can sell it into people who, are the kind of like median car buyer, not just the average car buyer in the US, which is a lower price point.
So that would be the $25,000-ish car plus maybe some inflation since then.
Right. And yeah, I don't know what the price point would be, but think about, half the cost to produce of the Model 3. And so if the average Model 3 is selling for 50, yeah, maybe 25 or 30.
And why do you think they would announce that now?
Why? Because I think that they are gearing up to manufacture it, because they are...
Even before Cyber and Semi?
Well, no, I think they'll announce that they're doing it, they'll reveal, just like they did with the Cybertruck, they'll reveal what it looks like, and then they'll go through kind of engineering for manufacture, and so that'll take a year or two.
So it's a lot more probable that this vehicle that they're going to announce is most likely going to be announced before production, right? Just kind of like what happened with the Cybertruck, where it was announced. However, we're not having production or manufacturing starting until the summer of 2023, and then mass production happening in 2024. So although we may have this announcement coming, manufacturing is most likely going to come later, right? This seems to fall along with the paradigm that Tesla has been doing with a lot of their announcements.
Well, I mean, listen, across the board, innovation stocks have underperformed, measured on a year-over-year basis. There's no question about that. I think that what's really fascinating for me is that the rate of technological improvement across the technology platforms that we focus on has never been faster. Like at least in my career of looking at technology and markets, it's in the AI space, it's gone from I was having a hard time keeping up with the academic papers to then having a hard time keeping up with the product launches.
What's your take on really legacy auto's ability to be able to compete at all in this EV space?
I think it's unclear that they can. I mean, I think Tesla has, just on a drivetrain efficiency point of view, I think a 4-year lead, 3 or 4 year lead. And so
that's just on manufacturing.
Yeah,
okay.
It's basically just like how performative a drivetrain can they make per dollar, drivetrain inclusive of the battery system. And what that means, I think that the challenge for legacy auto is they still, it seems to me, are on like a 4 or 5 year kind of like design to kind of production innovation cycle. So and they're stuck in a very like routinized kind of half-decade cadence of like, this is how we game plan and then launch in advance. And it seems as if they, it's like once they get a year down the track, they're kind of like tracked into where they're going to hit. And so then the problem is, you kind of saw this with the Model 3. It's like Tesla launched the Model 3 in 2017. It took all of legacy auto 5 years to release models being released this year that are roughly as performative as that 2017 Model 3.
Now, I thought this was a great point that he brought up, because we do see this apparent lag with the auto legacy companies in comparison to Tesla, and we see this reflected in the profit margins. That's why Tesla has a pricing power that it does have in comparison to these legacy vehicles, because these other, manufacturers like Ford and GM, right? They just don't have the same vertical integration, right? They don't have the same supply chain and just the whole manufacturing process that Tesla has. And this is why Tesla is ahead of the curve. And this is why they're gonna, just be more in the lead with innovation and constantly leave like the auto legacy cars or manufacturers in the dust. So definitely a great point that he brought up here. Now, with that being said, I want to go ahead and just talk about real quick my speculation for Investor Day. Now, number one, I think one of the things that is going to be mentioned is most likely another gigafactory, probably in a different country, obviously, or possibly we'll have one in Detroit. I mean, that would be amazing if that would, actually happen. But secondly, I think we are definitely going to have another product announcement. Elon Musk kind of alluded to this in past shareholder meetings that he's very excited of what's in the pipeline for, different products. So it's, I'm probably 80% sure that a new vehicle is going to be released. But with that being said, we're going to have to really pay attention to what happens to Tesla stock in the next coming, trading sessions. Of course, we had this catalyst event, then we have, the Cybertruck, and who knows how we're going to end the rest of the year. But with that being said, guys, make sure to watch this next video right over here, and I'll see you guys on that next video. Take care.